The brother sister team is back. I am Quarance.
I'm
That is my
Elise.
sister Elise, and we just got through seeing Into the Spiderverse. I liked it a lot. Um, there were lots. There's a lot to like about it. The characters and their designs were awesome. The fight scenes were cool. The story was good. It was pretty much all good to me. What did you think about it?
I really thought it was good. As like a casual fan of the Spider-Man franchise, I really liked the Black Hispanic Spider-Man.
Hmm.
It was a lot of different Spider-Man, and so every time they introduced one, I was kind of like, "Oh, another one for me to get
Right, we were
used
inundated with
to."
Spider-Man.
Right, but they did a good job at. Ooh, let me quickly tell you their backstory. They did
Right.
a really good job at the storytelling and
Yep.
like making it succinct and um
Because
so it was good.
yeah, you didn't really have to know like who the Spider-Men were, but
Mm-mm.
they told you enough. They gave you their
Right.
inciting incident. They gave who died, like whether it was a version of Uncle Ben or somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
For Miles Morales, it was his uncle, the Prowler, and for Gwen Stacy, it was Peter Parker.
Mm-hmm.
Another version is Peter Parker. And I didn't say who it was for Spider Ham, but I'm sure he had somebody. They
Yeah. And like the villain was really cool. Something that I think I was confused about, just
mm,
as like a casual fan, is how somebody just who's really strong
hmm.
could kill Spider Man.
Yeah, that was the Kingpin. Have you ever seen the Kingpin before?
No.
Okay, he showed up on the Marvel TV show on Netflix shows.
Okay.
Even though he doesn't have any superpowers, he's totally super strong. So he can do that. He's done that before.
Because he just like
A punch
punched
from
him and then he was like, oh,
yeah,
I'm dead.
yeah, a punch from Kingpin can totally kill a superhuman.
Okay. Okay.
So that wasn't surprising to me.
Yeah, because I've seen the Peter Parker movies, which I'm not Peter Parker, Tobey Maguire.
Yeah,
I've only seen the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man,
the
which I
Sam Raimi
love.
movies. Yeah.
I never saw the
Amazing Spider-Man.
Amazing Spider-Man, and then I saw the young one that's in the Avenger
Homecoming.
movies, which was really good. And I'm a fan
Yeah.
of Zendaya, so like I like that version of it. But I'm glad that I got to see like a cartoon version of it that was done really well. Because like I think you mentioned in the theater that you were glad that like it went to the theaters and kind
Yeah,
of and
because a lot of time the animated movies that come out from Marvel and DC go to either straight to video or the internet equivalent, straight to streaming or whatever.
right.
But this one, it merited the theatrical release. It was really good. The story was awesome, and the characters were awesome. I loved everybody in the movie.
Cool.
As far as let's see, my favorite character was probably Miles Morales himself. I just kind of related to him,
Yeah.
and I liked Gwen Stacy a lot, Spider Woman or
Yeah.
Ghost Spider. I think in the comics she might be called Ghost Spider, but
Okay.
or
I
maybe
like her
sometimes
haircut.
it's Spider Woman. I don't know.
I like
Yeah,
her
her.
haircut.
Yeah,
It was really cool.
and that
And I
was my
liked how they
first.
worked it into the.
Yeah, into her origin. She got that. The origin of her haircut is tied to Miles Morales.
Yeah, it's really
So
good.
that was cool.
It's really good.
And so that was the first time I've seen Gwen Stacy Spider Woman in action. She's had a comic book for a while now, and but I've never read it or whatever. So that was my first time like seeing her in action,
Mhm.
and I liked her a lot. I'm gonna have to read her comic now because she's pretty awesome and she has mad skills.
Yeah, I don't really read comics. If I were going to read one, it would probably be the Miles Morales, since now I have like a little investment
Hmm.
and would like to know some backstory. Cause like it low key made me want to cry when like he was like my uncle and he was like,
Hmm.
"You're the best one out of us." Like it
Yeah,
was
that
like,
was,
so
yeah. I had a
like.
little verklempt Clavin at that as well. Yeah.
I also liked how like they tied random elements of Peter Parker into it. Like at the
Mhm.
very end, he exposed it to his um roommate,
Yeah.
and that wasn't actually an intricate part of the storyline, but it's still a part of Peter Parker, and they just did it like real quick at the end. So it was
Mhm.
nice little Easter eggs and like
Well,
Stanley.
yeah. Stan Lee had a cameo. I don't know if it's his last one. He might be in Avengers
Avengers.
Endgame.
Yeah, maybe.
But this was easily my favorite because he actually had something substantive to say.
Mhm.
Usually he just has an offhand quip,
Yeah.
but this time he gave Miles Morales some sage advice. You know, he sold Miles Morales the little his Spider-Man costume, and Miles Morales was like, "What if it doesn't fit?" He was like, "It always fits, eventually." I was like, "Oh no!" Sage advice from Stan the Man Lee. So yeah,
Yes.
that was cool, and so yeah, and as far as designs go, I think my favorite character design was that universe's Doctor Octopus.
Oh yeah, it was
I
really
forgot
good.
her real name. It was something Octavius. I
Mhm.
don't know if she's like Otto Octavius's sister or
Oh,
cousin or
that would be
something.
cool.
But yeah, she was awesome. I loved how her arms worked, and I loved the look of her costume. And it took me by surprise because I thought she was just like a random side character, you know, because she
Mhm.
first showed up in that little video that Miles Morales was watching with his class,
Mhm.
and I thought she was just a random scientist.
Yeah.
Turned out it was Doctor Octopus, and she
Well,
had mad
well,
skills.
see, and that just a test that goes to show you like the writing and
Hmm.
like the forethought of the
Yeah.
movie was really.
Whoever the writers, and they showed who the writers were. There were three of them as well, because there were three directors too, and the
Mhm.
directors did a great job, and so did the writers. Uh, this was an awesomely thought out movie. They did an excellent job, like with the fight scenes. For instance, those I did not expect the fight scenes to be that good. You know, and I'm a fight scene aficionado. I be reading manga and watching anime, so I know my fight scenes. You know, I be
I remember you used to take me to anime movies.
yeah. You're welcome.
That's right. Thank you.
And what do we see together? Do
I
we?
don't know, but we used to go because we had to go to like special theaters because they
Yeah,
weren't showing them
it
in
was back in
mainstream
the
theaters.
'90s, so it
Yeah,
wasn't like mainstream
and
yet.
I
So
was
we
like
had
a
to
little, I was
section
like
out.
12 or 13. I just wanted to hang out with you. I did just want to hang out with my big brother,
I
and he was
barely
really into anime,
remember.
and so I would go.
I barely remember that now.
It was fun. We used to like listen to Jay Z and like Big
Mhm.
Pun and like ride around, go to
Yeah, I had
comic
that
books.
Big Pun album,
Hmm.
Punishment, or was that what it was called? But yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
And I can't remember what we saw together. I was always going to anime
You
stuff,
were, you love it.
so I'm sure you were with me half the time for
Hmm.
some reason. Why were you there?
Because I just wanted to hang out
Did
with
Mama make
you.
me take you or
She
something?
did. She did. She was like, "Where are you going?
I'm
Why do you
sorry.
have to go by yourself? Take your little sister." And I was like,
I'm sorry if I ignored you or something. Or
"No, you
while we
didn't
were
ignore me. I was
okay,
just, I had attachment issues." Okay.
okay. Yeah,
I just
that's
like
probably my
attention.
fault. Yeah, because we have an age gap, and I kind of
We
ignored
do.
her for a while, especially
Hmm.
when I went off to college.
Yeah, it's
But
okay though.
hey, it resulted in lots of anime watched,
There you
so
go.
I'm sure that
Everybody
was cool.
won.
But back to Spider Verse.
Do
To
they
know.
always use the same villains? Because I remember watching the Tobey Maguire and Green Goblin was in the first one and Doctor
Hmm.
Octopus was in the second one.
They're the most famous ones, so
And then the
yeah,
Sand Guy was in the third one.
Sandman, yeah.
Sandman.
Yeah, for the most part, because the villains are legendary, so
Oh, okay.
fans are expecting them.
Oh,
You got to use Green Goblin because he's kind of tied to Norman Osborn is kind of tied to Peter Parker in a way.
okay. Is he?
Yeah, because Peter Parker is best friends with
Oh yeah, the son.
yeah,
Right, right, right.
and plus in the comics, the Green Goblin was the first one to learn Peter Parker's secret identity. Because Peter Parker, Spider-Man was putting heads to bed after a while, because the
Let
first
the same
villains
kids to bed.
I'm from the '90s, but at first he would fight normal bank robbers, and he's super strong, so started beating them easily. Then he started fighting his first super villains, and finally, he eventually started beating them because his super strong strength would help. But finally, when he fought like someone like Rhino, I don't know if you've ever seen him. He was in Amazing Spider-Man too, so I don't think no, not many of people have seen him. But that was the
Shock.
first. That was the first supervillain I think that was stronger than Spider-Man.
Okay.
So he had to use his agility and his intelligence. But soon he was meeting people who were stronger and faster than him all the time, and he would whoop them anyway. Green Goblin was the first person who was stronger than Spider-Man, faster than Spider-Man, knew his secret identity, and the only thing that he had over the Green Goblin was that Green Goblin, I don't think he knew about Spider-Man's spider sense.
Mm.
Now, the only person to find, but I think he found out about it though. But yeah, so he's a seminal villain, so he's gonna show up. Kingpin. This is the first time he's been in a movie.
Yeah, that's why
But
I
he's a
had so
big
many questions.
Spider-Man.
Because the other
villain.
villains I have some prior knowledge
Mhm.
of because of the Tobey Maguire days.
Yeah.
But Kingpin, I was just like, he's just really big and he
Yeah.
punches people and he seems to be.
Yeah, believe me, a punch from Kingpin will totally kill you.
And then
Even if you're superpowered, like if he punched Captain America would be like, you know what I'm saying?
don't do that. Captain America could take all of them.
Even if it was Chris Evans. Chris Evans don't want none of Kingpin. And Kingpin exists in the movie universe because he showed up in the Netflix shows, and the Netflix shows are connected to the movie universe. So he could show up and punch Captain America in the chest, cave his chest in.
One, Captain America will not lose. Two, the hero always wins. The villain never wins. Or if he does win, there's always going to be a sequel.
That's true.
So in spoiler alert. So in the part where it is the multiverse, like all of them are opening up, and the Spider-Men are all fighting and flying around, and why is it? I guess because I guess you kind of explained it like Kingpin is just super strong, but why could he handle being in that and like everybody else was a superhero? Like even the dad had to stand on the side and look. Mm-hmm. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's like a contradictory character to me. Yeah. Like, he's a supervillain that doesn't actually have any powers. He's just really strong, but then he's human, but then he can stand to be around the multiverse when all the other humans are standing on the sideline. I don't know. It's just contradictory to me. I don't like it.
I'm telling you, that Kingpin is totally capable of that. If you, I got some comics for you to read, and I got some Netflix shows that you can watch. And that'll hit you to how hard Kingpin really is.
Okay, maybe I'm just underestimating his character in general.
Because he fights Spider-Man and Daredevil. Have you heard of Daredevil?
The Ben Affleck dude?
Yeah, but he's been rebooted, so it's okay.
That's not a valid argument.
Oh yeah, that was a version of Kingpin. Michael Clark Duncan played Kingpin in the Affleck Daredevil. Do you remember that?
I blocked that movie out.
That movie, it wasn't as bad as people say.
Poor
it was
Ben
just
Affleck. I mean, you can't say poor Ben Affleck. He's like rich and famous, right. But when it comes to super heroes, he has yet to redeem himself.
I think he's redeemed himself with Batman. Batfleck is awesome.
Did you just say Batfleck?
Yes, that's my endearing nickname for him. And lots of people call him that. And plus, he was the best. He was one of the best things in Batman vs Superman, right?
No, Superman was the best thing in Batman vs Superman. Actually, screw that. Wonder Woman was the best thing in Batman vs Superman.
It was Batman and then Wonder Woman. There were the two
Wonder
best
Woman,
things.
Then Superman, then whoever the villain
was. Batfleck is awesome. Anything bad about Batfleck, it's not his fault. Okay.
How is it not your fault that you're?
He's working with what he's given. Okay, he got to say what the scripts say. Okay.
Do you?
Yes.
Robert Downey Jr. doesn't.
He does. Okay, he does.
Robert Downey Jr. does whatever he wants. Kidding.
But okay, anyway, that's our thoughts on Into the Spiderverse. I thought it was awesome.
I thought it was great. I didn't think it was like a 10, but it was great. Like, I really enjoyed it. You did? I give it like a 7. It was definitely one of the better movies, like especially animated movies that I saw. I think as a casual fan, I was confused about some of the
different Spider-Men.
Yes, and that's probably just coming from
Spider-Man.
ignorance of I haven't read the books and things like that. But it was a really good movie.
Yep, it was. So that's us, and I guess next time we'll either see Aquaman or Bumblebee or maybe both because
Definitely.
they come out Friday.
Yeah, I'm excited about
Yeah, I'm
Bumblebee.
excited. I'm excited for both of them.
Yeah.
Bumblebee looks so much better in this movie.
Yes, I think it's gonna be great.
Aquaman looks good.
Aquaman looks great.
She's a Jason Momoa
I
head,
know,
so
he's so
and I like him
cute.
too. You know,
Yeah.
he's
He will never take the place of Captain America or Black Panther, but we can work on it.
right. Hey, that's what's up. But I like all of them. But anyway, that's what we'll do next time. So I'll let you know when it drops. I am Corrance, and this is my sister Elise, straight out of Oak Cliff.